Hey, what's up? Looks like we're live. Please let me know you can hear me well because it's been a while. Maybe something in the setup got messed up. I want to thank everyone who's here. I already see there were a couple of people waiting. And thank you for the 16 likes, more likes than people watching, which is much appreciated. So thank you for that. I hope everyone's been doing well. The connection may be a little slow. I don't know why. I have a feeling because it's been slow for a couple of days. So we'll see about that. I don't know. Hopefully you can at least hear me well and see me well. Hey Valentino, how are you? I hope you're doing well. And yeah, what we're going to do today, just a fun live stream. It's going to be a combination of kind of a chill, fun one of talking, answering questions, catching up, because it's been, again, well, like 2 weeks without a live stream because we were on vacation. So we'll catch up. And then also I have paper here and I can demo some stuff, do some fun doodles and sketches. I thought it would be cool to keep it very open in a way, and just to not necessarily force myself to do one specific thing, but rather, we'll see. So as you know, I was in Georgia for vacation for about a week and a half, and I got a bunch of reference photos. So one of the things we'll do is I will show you a bunch of photos. Maybe if you want me to try and paint something, we can do that. I have everything ready. Let's see who is in the house. Christine Bourgeois, good morning to you too. Pence Palacio, hey, how are you? Nechi says, hey, Liron. Tirza sends us a thumbs up. Pence Palacio is happy. Nechi, don't know if you remember me. I messaged you last time on IG. Yes, I think I remember you. If I know your username there, maybe I can connect it. But if it's a little different, it's sometimes, yes, it is hard to remember. John, how are you? By the way, the paper that I'm going to be using is... So, John, I got your third package, and I didn't want to... Let me get rid of this for a moment. I didn't want to haphazardly send you a message. I actually went through everything but the letter because I wanted to read it properly. So thank you so much. First, I just have to say, this is the paper you got me. It's the Canson Montval, I believe. Or did I use the other one? No, I think it is the Canson Montval. So thank you so much for that. And I will definitely send you a separate message once I go over everything properly. But I did see it super useful. Thank you. You nailed it, really. A bunch of stuff I need. I'll send you a separate message for sure. But thank you so much. So yeah, we're going to use paper courtesy of John. So thank you so much. Prince Palacio, I hope you had a fun vacation. Definitely have. It's been great. Georgia is a very interesting country, I'll say that. It's been an interesting experience and a lot of really nice views. Very interesting places. Very tasty food. I love food, so that was a fun aspect of the vacation for sure. Ate a lot of chinkali, so yeah, it was great. Zion Alfred Dizon, good evening guys. Thank you. Nechi, thank you. Vespa for Jen, good morning from California. Pence Palacio, don't forget to like the video, guys. Thank you so much for reminding everyone. Really appreciate it. Eli, hi there. Byron Mayer, hello from a cold South Africa. Wow, cool. So is it cold there now? Here it's like the worst. It's going to be the worst heat ever soon. Kimberly, evening from Australia. Hey Kimberly, how are you? Julio Herrada, buenos dias. Liron, have a great day. You too. Sujanith, Totempudi. Hi Liron, welcome back from vacation. Thank you. Prince Palacio, a little bit early today, huh? Well, I went for the same time, so 9 a.m. Eastern. So I don't know if any other time zones have managed to change their daylight saving time and that time. I'm sorry about that. But I did go by the same time, and it's 4 p.m. here. So yeah. Olga Khatit, hi Liron, nice to see you. Thank you. Nice to see you here too, and I really appreciate it. Rose Tone, hello, konbanwa, which is good afternoon, I believe. Or is it good evening? I don't remember. But I will start learning Japanese more professionally soon, so I'll definitely remember. John, thank you once again. Nechi, what paints are you going to use today? Okay, so I'll use probably the usual Paul Rubens, but I may refill some of the pans that have begun to empty up a bit. I'll show you. My French ultramarine is always running low, but luckily I have a lot of tubes to fill it with. Thank you, John. And also I have a bunch of other colors, we'll see, but for the most part it's going to be the Paul Rubin or Daniel Smith or White Knights, the same thing, and the basic colors I always like using, you know, blues, reds, yellows. I'm going to show you a couple of photos, and then we'll see what we're going to paint, and then we'll decide on the colors. But yeah. Sophia says hi from Belgium. Sujanith says, what did you miss most in art during your vacation? So yeah, two things, and I talked about it in a quick podcast episode I recorded. I missed the manga and watercolor for sure, out of everything I do. On vacations, usually I go into a mode of, I don't feel like stopping, putting it on hold, and drawing or painting. By the way, Ruth's here. There she is. A rare opportunity where she doesn't run away immediately, but now she's gonna go on a walk. So yeah, here it goes. So it's a good thing I managed to show her to you on time. And yeah, so watercolor and manga, that's the two things. On vacations, I like to really enjoy the moment. I don't like taking too many pictures usually. So I don't have a lot of pictures. If other people take pictures, then that's great. But if not, I just won't have many pictures. I don't know. I just prefer to be in the moment. If I'm on vacation, you know, at home I'll take tons of pictures on the day-to-day basis. But yeah, I really miss drawing the manga because I took kind of a break to work on the story a bit more. And yeah, that definitely, I miss creating the panels and everything. I'm actually moving closer to that. We'll see. It's going to happen hopefully soon. James L. Baker, hi Liron, greetings from London. Sunny today and nice breeze. Perfect. Nice. When there is a sunny day in London, I think every time it's something to be grateful for, right? Peg F. Kansas sends a happy hello. Thank you. Petunia, hello from Georgia, USA. Thank you. MB, happy to see you. Thank you so much. Onghin, good evening. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry if I don't. Tim O'Brien, hello. 9 a.m. in Kalamazoo. Detlef Tiebax, hi man, I really like your podcast with Tom. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's something I wanted to talk about too. The podcast episode, I really enjoyed it. I listened to the whole thing plus Tom's thoughts after the fact. It was really fun. It was a fun conversation at the moment. It was fun listening to it after the fact. And I think we got to touch upon a lot of important topics. I think there's good potential for more conversations like these. Let me gather my thoughts and plans as I go back to the normal work routine, and I'll probably try and do more of these things. We'll see. So yeah. Nechi says, great palette, love these paints too. Thank you so much. Hello, Shiny. Hi from New Zealand. Valentina something says off about Ruth, I suppose. Nechi, I was also from a vacation and I did an urban sketch painting and some plein air. Quite nice to do. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. When I do get in the mood, which is very rare, I do enjoy it a lot. And I find that if I just do something quick on the spot, then I can recreate it back home with a few more details and it looks even better. How did you bring Ruth with you on your vacation? Well, Ruth didn't come with us. That's the hardest part on vacation. She stayed here with her grandfather. So yeah, she loves him more than she loves us, so it's okay. She had a good time. She gets to play a little more and chill more, and yeah. But I'm almost always with her, so it's not like she's alone when we're here, but still, it's like he's her favorite person probably. So yeah. Anthea Blackmore, but we do miss her. Next to the end, right up to the end of the vacation, we start to think about her a lot and look at pictures. We're pathetic, really. So, Anthea Blackmore, hi from south of England. Tarcisio Domante, welcome back, Liron. Thank you, my friend. Well, hi, Liron. I hope you are fine. Thank you so much, my friend. I hope you're doing well, too. Cubswin, hello from Texas. What are you painting today? Okay, so I'm going to show you. That's a great lead in. Let's just see what else we have here. Talitha Pereira, good morning from Brazil. And Crispy from Germany. And also Negar Moradian, hi from Iran. And we have Verena Weber, hello from Berlin. So let me show you what I got today. I just took a bunch of pictures. And I'm going to move here like this. And make this a little larger, or I can just switch to the desk and then you can see my face. So yeah, I took a bunch of photos. Hopefully it'll work. It's the first time I'm doing this kind of a way of just opening a window through the streaming software. And I just took a bunch of pictures in Georgia, just beautiful, beautiful views. What I think we can do is choose one at random. I think I'll do this one actually. I really like this one. What I think we can do is just choose one. I want to kind of just enjoy painting it and doing it really on the spot. Maybe even just a part of it and not necessarily like tons of details. Maybe something fun like that. So I will go over them. Let me know your thoughts as I scroll through the photos. This one is the one I showed you, actually, I painted. So let me grab the painting. I believe many of you have seen this one. So this is the reference, and this is the actual painting. I had a really good time painting this one. And once again, here's the reference. Okay, changed a lot of things, granted, but I'm very happy with this one. Maybe I can show it to you later if you want to see more of it. But I just really enjoy, taking pictures of the architecture and the buildings. That's my favorite thing. We have this beautiful view that you saw in the tutorial. Actually, I painted this landscape black and white. It has a lot of magic in it. So I don't remember the places specifically, but I believe this was kind of on the way to the... No, I don't remember. It was Cave City. I forgot the name of the place. Upli something. I think it's in the name of the photo. No, it isn't. But if you're from Georgia, you know this place. There's just a beautiful city of caves there. It's really, really awesome to see all of that. But yeah, let's see this one from the... I forget the names of all the places, but it's a huge... Oh yeah. So this one is from Achaltziche. It is a, I think the biggest kind of castle or walled, not castle, but what's the name for it? Like fortress. I think it's the largest fortress in Georgia. So it was a really, really crazy place. Took a lot of pictures there. I actually thought of initially painting this one, not the other one. But I think I'll do even a larger version of this one in the future. Just a very, very fun thing. I love that play of light and shadow on the walls, and some gardens. This is really, really cool. A bit of a more complex scene, of course. Something to maybe work more patiently on, but we'll see. I think it could be fun to just choose a small section and kind of paint it and see what happens, We have this view from up top, it's the same place. This is actually, so this garden, you can see it, or here it is, yeah, you can see it here. Hopefully you can see this, I don't know if you can. Probably you can't, but I'm gonna zoom in. There we go. So I believe it's this same one. Or it could be a different one, but on the same place. Yeah, it's this one here, down at the corner. But yeah. And then we have some sea. This is like a huge, huge lake. So a bunch of pictures. Just let me know what stands out to you. This was the view from our balcony in the apartment. Really, really nice. I love that light and shadow, of course. Another one, really fun one. This was just from Tbilisi, the city itself. See a bunch of pictures, so let me see what you're writing, because I can't see it simultaneously. But I do want to, maybe, this is a nice car for the car challenge, another car for the car challenge, another beautiful view. Let me see what you're writing here. Crispy. Okay, yes. So have you ever tried Jello watercolor? No, not yet, but I definitely plan on trying it. Isabella says hi from Ontario, Canada. NLB Design says, hi Liron, I'm currently watching while on my dinner break from working from home from Liverpool, England. Thank you so much for joining. So yeah, these are some of the photos I took. Let me just make this disappear for a second, just to make sure it doesn't slow things too bad. And let me know in a comment if there's anything that stood out to you. I think I'll definitely go for that church. Let me open this one. We can do something fun here. It doesn't have to be like official. What I like to do is, if I'm warming up or if I just want to do something very lighthearted, I like to just kind of paint small sections of a scene and try and do that with minimal details or kind of alla prima. I find that to be very fun, so I can do something like that. And if you have, so here's the thing, if you have any technique you want to ask me about, or anything you want to know, or any general questions, that's kind of what I planned today to be about. So just feel free to ask away. Okay, that's what I want to do. Keep it kind of open, and I like to do it kind of open from time to time. Sometimes it's nice to have like a well-defined plan, but after vacation and stuff, I want to slowly go back to business, and yeah, so that's why I thought I'd do something a little more lighthearted. Let me rotate the picture, of course, as always. You have to rotate it. There we go, refs. Now, where is it? I'm gonna find it, sorry. Here we go. And I'm gonna do the like this. Good. And hopefully now it is, yeah, it's oriented properly. And we can just, I don't know, well, I can just start doodling some parts of it. It's fun. Like, I love looking at the towers and everything. And hopefully that'll be something interesting to see. So yeah, I like this, let me show you, if I can aim with my finger. I like this section, right at the entrance. This little kind of structure. So let me know what you think of that. Okay, let me see some new comments. I was waiting. I was stalling to see the comments about these. I had a feeling the comments are delayed. Tom B, the building looks good, but that church with trees, the church earlier shadows resonate with me, or views from hotel, garden. Yeah, people I see like all of these. How do you translate sunset glow or glow from the sun to a painting? Well, it depends. If you want to translate it as it is, you have to really just match the colors and the value. But if you want to enhance it, you can exaggerate the saturation of the colors. I find that preserving the value is important, but you can do something like that. But you have to do it in a way that is balanced in the entire painting. That's what I think for the most part. So for example, if you want to exaggerate the colors, I would exaggerate a small portion of the color palette. So for example, if it's like glowy kind of orange, you'll find that it's not too strong of an orange in real life. It's actually quite muted. But if you want to exaggerate it, use a stronger orange, but keep the blues and the yellows kind of the same. So choose one aspect to exaggerate, which could be a fun way of doing it. I can do a video on that. Do you ever add acrylics to a watercolor painting? Not really. I don't have good acrylic paints. If I had like a good acrylic paint, I would. I actually have, no thank you, John. The white acrylic paint, I will definitely use that. But yeah, I usually use just this kind of a pen. Thank you, John, once again for sending me this one too. This one I've been using for a while, like this type of pen I've been using for a while now, and it's just a really, really nice type of pen. Can we have figures in the painting? Yeah, for sure. I can just do figures. We'll find figures from the photos. By the way, the scale is crazy here. If I just zoom in a bit, you'll see there's a figure. It's really small, but let me make this a little larger, blow it up. You see on the very right next to the steps, this is actually a figure. It's tiny, so this is a huge structure. And that's the thing, it's really misleading about these photos. They look small, but they're actually quite huge structures. And very monumental. I don't know if I'll try or succeed in capturing that, but we'll see, so yeah. Let's see what else you're saying in the chat. We'll just do some work. Hi Liron, how about Singer Sargent type of thing with the washing on the line? Your balcony views. Nice to see you. What do you mean type of thing with the washing on the line? Let me know. You mean like a light pencil line and then washing over it with a wash? Let me know. Like in that photo that somehow glow from the sun. How do you usually... Oh, okay. Like a glow from the sun. So usually it's just lighter. It's just lighter where the sun is. So as long as you get that value right, you can actually get the color not as accurate. So you have to, like if you look at the cloud, that's a really light cloud in the darker blue sky, which is still quite light, by the way. So the same goes, but instead of a sharp transition from light to dark, you'll get a very gradual from the center and outwards, if that makes sense. But yeah. So I think... I'll get started and then I'll go back and revisit some of the comments. I keep getting a missed call from a number I'm not familiar with, and it doesn't even ring. It goes just once. Let me see if someone answers, just to make sure. I don't know if it's important or anything like that. Let's see. And yeah, I'm gonna do this one, I think. Yeah, okay. It just says thank you for calling. Bye bye. Same number. Okay, I'll start by working on this one. Hopefully you'll see everything. Okay, I'll try. We'll see. I think I'll choose a section here and work on that. So from what I can see, and again, sorry, I'm not. It's been a while since I live stream, so sorry if things are a little slower. Just trying to figure out where your field of view ends, so you don't see anything to the left of this line. That's fine. So I'm not going to do anything here. So let me open up the reference photo and just choose a section. As I said, I like the entrance to the church. So I'll just do something. We'll see. And it'll be me also experimenting with this paper. So you get the steps here. That's a really nice thing. And I'm going to establish some perspective lines. So we're higher, which is why you see the ground floor much lower. And then if we look at the roof of this actual structure, it's already pretty horizontal. And then anything that goes past that is at a bit of an angle. So something like this. I may have exaggerated it a bit, but that's actually fine. It's not that big of a deal. Let me see. Yeah, you can see everything. So it's going to be quite sketchy and just fun, I think. Let's see. So we have this. I'm just dropping in a bunch of lines that are kind of fanning to establish some kind of a perspective. Now, let's say the structure starts somewhere around here. So the basic shape is going to be like that. And yeah, I've changed the perspective a bit, but that's actually a fun exercise. So if you can change the perspective but still make it look cool, that's actually a good thing. And still get it to be somewhat accurate. Now to find the middle, I'm just going to connect these corners, just like that. And here's our middle, somewhere around here. From there, I'm going to pull up a line, get this kind of a roof up top. It's not really a drawing stream, so I'm just kind of having fun with it. Yeah, something like that. And then this side goes to a different vanishing point. Again, not a drawing stream, but just I'm just recreating basically the shape of this structure here. So something like that. And by the way, these two are parallel lines. They also converge to some kind of a vanishing point. So just a fun fact. Now it's at a much steeper angle. So let me make this taller and go like this, because I made a mistake. And get it like that. And then we can get rid of some of the unnecessary lines here. Get this line at kind of the same angle, like that. It's actually been quite a tiring week. I got back to work like I never was on vacation, so that was a little intense, let's say. But yeah, that's nice. And don't forget, a lot of most of the beauty is gonna come from the values. So I don't really care much about the colors themselves, or the drawing. Sorry, the colors we'll see. So if I pull a line up like this, and this should ever so slightly converge down because we're looking at it from above. And that looks okay, I think. Maybe this should be at a stronger angle, though I'm not sure. Perspective is tricky. There's very often you won't have like a way to calculate anything perfectly, and you kind of just have to go for it and study it and develop an intuitive understanding of it. So it's a little tricky always to explain it too. And you know, I have a lot of room for improvement too. So I'm not always able to explain it properly. But so this goes somewhere around here, and then that's pretty much all I need, because the rest is kind of going to be sent to the background. So let's say I have this structure here. You see these steps. Now I wonder if we should actually draw them. At the back here we have this kind of a fence or something, and then that goes down with the stairs. You see that? Kind of to the right. Hopefully you see everything. If not, I'll take a break in a few moments and check in on you. Let's say these steps are very wide, so something like that. We have a bunch of structures, trees, something in the background here that I'm just going to get in very abstractly. Like edit it. I'm going to edit this thing. We can actually put a figure, so we'll have like a person. Let's make this structure look very monumental. and we'll have someone kind of walking towards it, and maybe someone coming off the stairs like we just saw here. Not gonna go into too many details with the people here. Gonna keep them very loose watercolory people. Taller person right next to this person. Maybe with a shopping bag, like that. Walking towards the structure. Let's see if you can see. Yeah, it's just a fun one. Just a fun one. It doesn't really matter what happens around the left section here. So let's see what you're saying. Make sure you can see everything. Ray of light in the cloud as well. Oh, that's gonna be tough. I probably won't even have it on my in my painting, as you can see here. I'm focusing on the lower section, as always, focusing on the structures rather than on the actual thing that interests most people. Why won't my photo zoom in? So now it refuses to zoom in. Thank you very much. My Mac's going crazy, I think. Let's see if I can find it again. Maybe I'll open it separately. Just 1 second. Can I do that even? No, it insists on opening it. Oh, that's annoying. View. Zoom in. View. Okay, my Mac's lost it. That's fine. We'll get it to work somehow. Oh, there we go. Okay. Sorry about that. So yeah, now let's establish some light and shadow. So the roof casts a shadow here, casts a shadow there, and I always say focus on the shapes of light and shadow. This is a kind of criticism I've told people a lot lately in regards to artworks I see. You want to focus really on the shapes rather than on what's actually there. Sometimes it's beneficial to focus on what's actually there. For the most part, you really want to focus on the shapes of light and shadow. So for example, this is a shape that I'm going to fill in later on, actually. Okay? There's a bit of a cast shadow there to the corner. See, you really have to think of it in terms of shapes, and we'll just have fun. You see, I'm going super sketchy here. So this is the entrance. If I want to get some of the stairs, I'll kind of hint at them, I think. Kind of like this. Try to keep them in the perspective as much as possible. But this is a little too small to actually get some more of that, more additional details in. But hopefully it'll look okay. 2 steps for the bottom part. And then we have some more details here. So I ended up kind of painting. I didn't plan to go in detail into the rest of the scene, but I ended up kind of putting it in there anyway. But yeah, so let me just, I'm gonna get started and work in sections, I guess. I don't want to do like an initial wash that's longer. I want to show you how you can practice in many ways, okay? First, let's get some more French ultramarine in there, because I don't have much. Ruth came back. Hi, shalom. Shalom. So we'll get a bit more paint in here. The reds and yellows run out really fast, so I usually don't. It takes time till I have to refill them. And the fun part now, you'll see me paint with like pure French ultramarine straight out of the tube, which you see how strong it gets very fast. That's a big part of it. So we'll do this, kind of a fun one. You know what? I think maybe I want to do this a little crazy. Maybe, should I like play around with the colors and make them a little more expressive? I don't know. Let's keep it for a different work. For this one, I'll work normal for now. And I want to show you how I sometimes enjoy practicing. So what I'll do is, I'll just start painting, for example, this section of the sky. Let me get a bit of an angle there to keep the paint moving. Look, I'm gonna go that so let me make sure you can see. Yeah, okay, that's good. You can see. And sorry that it skews the perspective a bit. But what I like to do is to just put a bit of paint there, you see? And kind of move with that. So if I have something that's dark and detailed here, and let's move it all the way to the left. I'll just mix that and work directly onto it. Kind of like an alla prima painting. Let me pre-wet everything here. And the goal really is just to enjoy yourself. I don't have a strongly defined goal today, and hopefully that's fine with you. I know some people don't enjoy it as much, but I believe you'll be okay with it. And here I am putting in some darks, okay? Now this paper, it's important to mention, it's pulp paper. So it's not 100% cotton. You will get a bit of a different behavior, and if you're used to cotton, it will behave differently. So just something to be prepared. You see how it doesn't blend as much together, and you do see some of the brush marks. So just something to be aware of. It's not a bad thing necessarily, and it will really depend on a lot of other things. But to me, the way I view it is the fundamentals are still active. So if you can get the right contrast and the right value and the kind of a right temperature or color, it doesn't matter if you see some of the brush marks. Okay, and that's kind of what I maybe will show today. And by the way, again, if you have any questions, I will go over your chats afterwards, so just ask away. So here we have a small highlight, and I'll kind of close off that gap. Let me make this warmer. It should be warm. And I stuck to my very cool kind of bluish mix from earlier, and you'll see it's just, you know, it looks like a mess with the brush marks, but it will actually work really well. Bates Matat. So yeah, here we go, like that. And then we have this kind of an edge here that's also in the shadow. And it actually casts a bit of a shadow, so let's cast. And you see how slowly, and hopefully you can see this, see how slowly it starts to feel like light and shadow without doing much, without doing anything. Just going to put in some steps here. I wasn't even planning on making the ground paper white. And I may change it later on, but I don't know, it kind of looks nice, so we'll see. Now, what I'll do is, this edge has dried, but we don't care, it's fine. Let me show you. I'll connect it directly to the structure, see? And nothing happened, nothing, it's not the end of the world. If two edges, where one of them is not dry yet fully, if two of these edges touched one another, it's okay. It's not the end of the world, okay? Because I do see a lot of people are scared of that. So let me go a little more warm here. A lot of people are scared of a lot of things in the watercolor process when you really don't have to be. And again, of course, this is a bit of a different behavior because we're using pulp paper. And so you will get something a little different there. And let's continue like that. And notice how I turned the wall that's kind of light, just covered it with this kind of layer of yellow. Now my focus is on here, on this spot, so I won't go into too many details on the other areas. And you see, I keep mixing more and more and bringing more water and more water. You never stop mixing. You always need a larger quantity or more of one color, or fixing the color balance. It's always an important action of the painting process, which a lot of people don't seem to devote enough time and attention to. And I do want you to try and do that. Give it the attention it deserves, because it really is. Most of the painting happens on the palette. It's something I talked about in the past. So yeah, now this shadow here, and look at how, I don't know, it just looks nice. I don't even know like what it will look like on your, now I see, so I moved the camera and now I see it, yeah. So it just looks nice, and if it looks weird to you, that's because it's incomplete, so you just have to keep working patiently, okay? And to be honest with you, this entire wall should be painted like this. I think I figured out like what I want to show you with this live stream, and because I had this vague idea in mind. I want to show you how things can happen very fast on paper, in a good way. So if you just do a couple of things right, whatever you're putting on the paper will look interesting or good, or whatever you want to define it, pleasing to the eye. You just have to put in a couple of lines in the right spots, and you'll create a sense of three-dimensionality, or a sense of depth, or a sense of distance, And I'm like really now just kind of going for it and putting random stuff, it can seem. But again, and look at this section, for example. I love the contrast here. Let me show it like more up front. See this small, simple thing here? I love when things connect like that. So yeah, even though it's a mess, it's still gonna look good, trust me. and we'll slowly build it up. So yeah, we got some details here. Now this is still wet, so let's kind of do wet and wet there. Like this. And this entire thing goes a little darker. Again, pulp paper behaves a little differently. Maybe later I'll use the Fabriano too, we'll see. And then warm it up, but also quite dark, and go over this section. If you'll notice, this section is a little more exposed to light, so it's a little warmer in a way. And I can actually go back and darken, even using some black, the inside here, like this. And now, there is a cast shadow that I forgot, so let's get that on the ground. Maybe a little cool. And it casts by the steps and the building and everything, so here we go. Again, big mess until you add the darker, stronger shadow, so don't worry about that. People, let's make them colorful. Just kind of picking up colors. Red shirt. Red shirt isn't a good thing, right? It's the people who died in the first episode of a TV show, I believe, were called red shirts. And then neutralize that a bit. Just a couple of legs. And shadow casting. We have another figure here. And of course this is kind of small, and I'm not putting a lot of work in it. Well, maybe later we'll do something that's even smaller but a bit more careful in detail. But in any case, do I even have to wait for it to dry? I can just go over and paint on it. But let's give it a few more seconds. Now what I can do in the meantime is add some details on these roofs that you see here. So I'm just going to do that. And again, if it looks ugly right now, which very well may look ugly, again, as always, you have to be patient. You have to allow it some time to unfold in front of you. It's just, I keep relearning and relearning this lesson of you just won't know what it looks like till the very end sometimes, and it just may not look good till the very end. So it's something you have to get used to. Get used to looking at a painting that doesn't look good. It doesn't look like much. And this is like an extreme example of it because I'm just slapdashing stuff on the paper. But now, like here you see those lines, and you also see those lines go the other way. But on the other side, you barely see them. What you see more is that top shadow on top of the roof. So kind of like that, like this. Same goes here. You see the shadow. Let's see what the shape is. Yeah, so it goes like this, kind of a zigzag pattern that indicates the shapes of these, I don't know, texture on the, it's kind of a roof. So let me see what you're writing in the chat, what you're saying about the big mess I painted here. And then we'll continue, we'll let it dry as we talk. Licentious says, hello Liron, hello everyone. I'll try getting to all the comments, but oh, okay, that's doable, it looks like. Figures. Maybe we'll do a tractor next, like one of the tractors I took a picture of. Beautiful sky, can you paint a ray of light? Yeah, that's not in the frame. Looks like I'm not late, says Kelvin. Yes, you're here on time. Darna Agarwal says, wow, thank you. Kelvin says, I just finished a painting. That's really cool. I'm happy to hear. Is the painting the thing that looks like a normal house, or are you commenting on this one? Tom Sander, first time catching you live. Cool. Welcome aboard. Thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well. Aparna Kothari, hello Liron. I'm stuck at painting and unable to get realism. Please help. The reference photo is too big and full paper is not visible. Yeah, that's fine. I know. I just wanted to focus on this section. I wasn't planning for it to be a full blown out thing. Yeah, sorry about that. Just focus on what you do see. But about painting realism, I'll address it in a future course. So I'm actually working on a course that will help you. Let me show you my face. Come on. So I'm working at I'm really sweaty though. So let's do this. Well, let's get rid of that. So yeah, I'm working on a course that will address realism and values in black and white. I'm still figuring out the exact method that I'll be using in it to teach. Can I open the window fully now, or will I get direct sunlight? That'll be totally annoying. I'll wait a few more minutes. And that will be something to really tackle realism And I think I want to kind of guarantee that you will be able to paint realistically afterwards, even if it's not too detailed or too, but it's still in the making. I just feel like it needs a complete plan to really get it to work. Like, I have tons of videos on realism. Some nail it a little better, some not as much. But I think a full work plan is needed, which is why you'll probably hear more about it once I have something more substantial. Okay? But I'm working on it. Hey, I'm late for the party, says Dave. No, you're on time. I barely did anything. The anime drawer, does he do anime drawings or just building drawings? No, I actually have a bunch of manga and anime stuff, the anime drawer, that I can show you maybe later. Ooh, there's a bunch of comments. Okay, I'll try getting to most of these. So I do these, and if you just go to my channel and you look for Berserk Guts, you'll find a drawing I did of Guts from Berserk. Sujanith, I'm still waiting when you start your workshops. Workshops, do you mean like actual, like live workshops or video workshops? Let me know. I'm not planning on doing workshops for now. But yeah, like live with traveling to places, that's an option for the future for sure. Calvin, I recently did a painting with extreme perspective. Everything looked very wonky, even though I spent hours in drawing. That's interesting. Send me a picture. I'm curious to see. I do anime drawings and was wondering if he does anime drawings also. Yeah, I have something I'll show you later. Painting, not as much, by the way. Valentino, message retracted, that's weird. Did you start off with pencil or wait straight to paint? No, I started with pencil, but very loose. Okay, yeah, so I see. Nice conversation. People, thank you for answering on my behalf. Comes with ideas on how to not overwork watercolor. Well, again, here's my theory. If you get your values right and you get the colors to look good and you get everything to kind of be in place, you won't overwork it. And even something like this that's very uneven and patchy will still look good and not necessarily overworked. Okay? So I'm trying to think if I want to kind of shift, what should I call it? Do a mindset shift with overworking. Because I think I have proven before that you can overwork and things will still look good. So, I don't know, it's a good question. It's things that I don't think there's a straightforward answer to them. But yeah, the one solution for not overworking, I can show you here on the side, is actually to put things in one go. That's the main thing. So not mixing at all colors. You don't have to mix at all. You can just paint them as they are. So if I grab a bit of blue here and I just do this, let me do it like this. So I just put this blue in one go without going over it. And then maybe I'll switch over to like a bit of an orange here, this orange that I love. And I'll just put it in one go. And I won't go back and dab and all of that. Then this will stay fresh and not overworked. Now the trick is how to know how much to mix and get the right value and right color. So what you can try and do is shift your kind of the way you work into spending more time on the palette and mixing and making sure things look like just the way they should, even turning the reference black and photo and trying to see it more accurately, and then only then apply it to paper. And choose a small section and paint that as accurately as you can. And don't worry about the flow and how the water flows together for the entire painting. Just make sure to get this section accurately, and that section accurately, and this section accurately. And funny enough, I think that'll lead to a painting that is not as overworked. Even though people say paint over everything, do one even wash to avoid overwork, I'll actually argue that it could work this way as well. So more time on the palette, mix just the right thing, and it will take time. Make sure you get it accurately, and only then apply it to the limited area on paper for which you have mixed it. Okay, I hope this makes sense. Just my thoughts. I'm trying to, again, trying to find a good answer to that. There's so much that goes into overworking or not overworking that I feel like I'm not going to have good answers for pretty much any question today. I don't know why. My brain's a little slow. I'm actually not tired or anything. I'm just slow, so my apologies in advance, and we'll just do our best. Bonjour Stolz, don't pick up phone calls like that or call them back. Big scams going on. If you have an iPhone, you will see where the call came from. Yeah, it's a local call. It's not a scam. It's just something that's irrelevant or like a marketing crap. But yeah, does anyone know how to fill in a big background on bristle board? Like if you want a light green background for a drawing. Um, hmm. So the anime drawer, if you're talking about watercolor, which I can help with, I have a video on filling in large areas. But if you want to use markers or something different, then I don't have a good answer for that actually. It's a good question. How do you fill in a large space with markers? Maybe you just fill it in. I don't know. Because I know people use markers on bristle board. So yeah. Vespa, I love the view from your apartment. Yeah, that will definitely be fun. Maybe I'll do it later. What paints are you using? So I'm using French Ultramarine, Perylene Red, New Gamboge, and Yellow Ochre. And it's half Daniel Smith, half Paul Rubin, I would say. It's a bit of a mess, but yeah, those are the two main brands. Maybe 2/3 Daniel Smith. On my future tutorials, I will write down the paint. I know so many people are asking that, and I keep forgetting. Username that I can pronounce is hi. Sorry, it's just a bunch of. Is it Greek letters? I'm not sure. MD Ibrahim Ali. Can I use correction pen for highlights? Yeah, definitely. I do that. I have this white pen here. I'll use it for highlights all day long. Kelvin, those granulations from Ultramarine look really good already. Yeah, thank you. Hebrew. Yeah, that was Hebrew. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the anime drawer. I love how sometimes when coloring it looks so bad at the start, but when it's finished, it's wrapped up, it looks good. Yeah, that's just how it works. You have to be patient. And with that, I think we can move on to the next wash. I think it fully dried, so I'll just continue. Now, the main thing you wanna, the main concern for this wash is, let me just move this a bit. Come on, let's be more professional. I'll make this smaller. Okay. No, that's better. And maybe I'll change the angle to be a little smaller so it doesn't skew the drawing too badly. And hopefully now you can see most of what I drew here. So, let's see. Yeah, that's good. What I'm going to do is just fill in the shadows. That's the main step, the next step for me here. And it's under the roof, here to the sides. There's a bunch of shadows here. And I'm just going to get started top to bottom. Now again, I don't care as much about mixing the right and accurate color. I am more concerned with the value. But don't take it to be the right way of doing things or anything like that. If you enjoy getting the color right and maybe you have more energy and you're not as lazy as me at this very moment, do it. Okay? Anything I'm showing you here is just one way of doing it for a specific time and for a specific mood that I'm in, okay? So let's do this. And you see, most of the painting happens on the palette. That's just unavoidable. And I'm very hesitant so that I don't pick up too much of the blue because it's very strong right out the tube. But in any case, I think this is good. So let's get to it. This wall here should be darker. Now you see, I need, and this connects to the shadow completely. I think I'll need an even darker value. We'll see. So this wall ends here, and then we switch to this being a shadow. And this is how you avoid overwork. You just put it in one go. Not always easy, not always possible, but this is how you avoid overwork. Now I'll have to go over it again because it's not dark enough. And the thing to understand with this paper too is the way you lay down the paint will actually affect the value too sometimes. And it's something I noticed with pulp papers mostly. It doesn't happen as much with cotton paper. So something to be aware of. Like this, we have a bit of a detail there, shadow here, and here we get to the main bulk of the shadow, and let's keep with the smaller brush for this. So more paint, much more paint. I need this section darker. And maybe warmer, so more yellow. And we have this shadow, one go, okay? If you got it inaccurate, go again. If you have no choice. And this shadow here to the left. like that. And then we have to do the same for this structure. So here we go, darker, darker, kind of like this. And I want you to enjoy the painting process. Like, I'm not in the mood to, because I did this detailed work with the church and everything. And by the way, it's going to be a video on Saturday. The church entrance that I've shown you earlier. So I'm in the mood to do some quick stuff. I don't really feel like doing something super detailed. Which is why I'm going at it pretty fast. So this goes here. Yeah, and hopefully that starts making a bit more sense. Now, I do want to add a couple of these lines here. I feel like they're necessary. I don't know why. Just to define some texture here. Maybe something like that. Now, the background here is much darker. So let's get it darker. And I'm actually going to darken it with some green. Now, this is a stage of the painting where you may not like still what you see on paper. And if that's you, I would argue, like, to, instead of worrying about it, calmly analyze the painting and figure out what it is that bugs you, okay? Because it can be one of many, many things. And let me reach out for that black a bit. It can be many different things that bug you, and a lot of them you can actually fix. So I want you to, and we're going to try something fun later on. I'm going to try lifting. We'll see how that will work. Because for pulp paper, it's sometimes, that's the advantage. It's easier to lift sometimes. But I will challenge you to not get frustrated, but rather analyze the painting and figure out what it is that bugs you and try and fix it. Like, actually try and figure it out. Look at the different areas of the painting and ask yourself, what did I miss here? What am I not doing correctly? Where did I miss the value being inaccurate, or the drawing? Very often the drawing will be the issue, you know, just an inaccurate drawing. So, yeah. That's also something to pay attention to, or it could be a million things, really. And then just, worst case, do another iteration, do another try, till you get it to look somewhat like you want it. Now, there is a bit of a dark tree here coming from the corner, like that, and then another one here. It's fun from time to time to paint on pulp paper, even though I wouldn't do it normally, like, for every painting at all, because, again, just behaves much differently, and I do think it's not as suited for a lot of things. So, two things that I want to do now. Lift and put some texture like bricks or something on the different walls. But I also need to get those smaller arches in, so let's do that. These right at the front. So these are not as deep. They're actually quite shallow. So I'm going to put them in shallow. And look at their shape. It starts here, and it kind of goes at a curve all the way to the edge. You see, like that. Kind of messed up the shape, that's fine. Like this. All the way to the edge. And then there's a part of the wall that's beveled. I'm going to do it with a smaller brush, actually. But this is exactly what I meant when I said earlier, you just put in a few lines and the impression kind of appears. See, it feels like now they're dented inside the wall. And it didn't take much to get that impression, okay? So this goes here. And this goes here. This is a little too strong, so let me lift it. Like that. And you see it feels like it's maybe beveled inside. Now we also have this small detail here. Ruth is sleeping on the sofa. I have to show her to you. She's so cute. Let me show you. Look at her. Yeah. Looks like a mini cow. But in any case, let's go back to that. So yeah, a big mess, but a nice mess. My mess. Now I'm going to darken this section up a bit more. Right here. Needs to be darker. Yeah, that's not good. Yes, that's the same paper I wiped the sweat off earlier. So let's go like this. And let's go a little darker there inside the entrance. I find that sometimes it's hard to produce a dark value on pulp paper too. Like, it just won't doesn't want to receive the pigment as much. I don't know, that's weird. Maybe it's just me, but I have experienced it in the past, so I don't know. Let me know if you also have. Now, to give the walls a bit of solidness, and then we'll, I think, wrap this up, I'm just going to add a bit of the brick texture, okay? So a very thin brush, and I'm going to keep this warm. Let's see what we can do here. You have to follow the perspective, in the direction of the perspective. So it goes something like this. Now let me lighten it up a bit. It's a little too strong. Let's see. It will dry lighter, of course, but... So I'm going to put a few lines that will help me see the perspective, and then I can fill in the blanks, kind of. And this will hopefully make the walls feel just a little more solid. Okay, so something like that. Same goes for this part here. Definitely not my best work, but just a fun kind of a thing to do. I want to show you this zoomed in later. We'll do another iteration on the... This is going to be interesting. We'll do another one on the arches, because I think there's a lot to learn there, actually. So yeah, we'll do that. Let's get some of these stairs a little more organized. Like that, and hopefully it does look like stairs. Of course, I omitted a lot of things. There's this rail that goes over it, and there's a bunch of stuff that I just didn't put in, but that's fine. And to wrap up the bricks, or the texture, we will add a few of these. See, to go the other way. Just to show that it's actually bricks, you know. At random spots. And I don't know, just a fun, quick one. We'll see how it looks once it's done. Yeah, very muted. This is a very muted painting, not a lot of bright colors in it. And now let's try and lift a bit. Here, there's kind of a highlight in between. So let's see how I can, if and how much I can lift this. Should be green, by the way, too, but that's fine. It's not the end of the world. If I lift that a little better, and there's also something to lift here, but I don't know if I'll succeed because that's already pretty light, but we'll try. Yeah, that's nice, and that goes actually all the way down here, and I can just do this, and it will also lift some of it back up. So yeah, it's an area I didn't really focus on. I went rather quickly on it, over it. Now if you do want to add a bit of, like, I don't know, a filling of ground to it, because I kind of just kept it open, you can do that if you just add in a couple of these lead-in lines, you see, like that. Kind of make the ground look a little more solid. And you can do the other way too. What you'll usually get is smaller bricks, but you know, you can do whatever you want. And I don't know, just to make it feel like the ground. I think we'll wrap this one up. We'll hold it up. It's very basic and it's not like that good, but I don't know. I mean, from afar it looks kind of cool, kind of neat. Now I do want to show you something, and I'll do this on a smaller piece of paper. I want to show you the arches in particular. So let me take the scene and kind of cut out a small part of it. I want to show you how, let's do this. I want to show you how that impression is created very quickly, okay? So we'll crop this section, and I'll bring it over, 1 second. Okay, it's not going to be my best work today, I'm just trying to doodle and have fun. Maybe we can look at some other ways of doodling later, but here it is. So I want to show you something here. If I use this, and you look at the arches in particular, what I like about this is if you can just get that pattern. Let me show you. So you have the wall, right? And then you have that major arch, kind of like this. And then you have the small, like without even using perspective or anything like that. I'm just trying to see if this will work. And you have this smaller arch here. Now, this arch has some architectural details around it. So, and this, it kind of goes like this, okay? There are the steps here, but that doesn't matter as much. And this should go over more to the left like this, kind of like that. Okay, and then you see the inner shadow goes like this, right? And as long as you get that right, sometimes you'll be surprised at the impression that is created. So all you really have to do, I can actually show you a cooler way. You know what? Let's try something out. Okay, I'm going to try something nice. We'll see how it goes. So I'm going to cover everything but the highlights for a moment. So let's see. I'm all over, but yeah, my apologies. I'm going to look at the chat soon and answer questions and do stuff, but it's just going to be today's live stream a little all over the place. I want to leave a few highlights there. See? And then think of me as a crazy genius today. And then I'll cover everything up but some highlights. So here's what I did. Basically, I'm just applying a flat wash to pretty much everything, right? Like this. Maybe we'll leave a thin highlight there too. Maybe another thin highlight here. And I just kind of covered everything, okay? With this yellowy goo. Okay. Now let me show you. All that it really takes for it to, I guess, become three-dimensional is just the fact that we have the highlights here and then the shadow inside. Let me dry it. It's going to take like 10 seconds probably. I just want to make sure that it's dry. So I think that's enough. And I want to show you again. If you just get that shape inside correctly, which is a muted warm color, I would say. So let's do that. Again, the mixing takes time. Mixing is the most significant part of the process in a way. So yeah, now it's a bit purple. Now we'll add a bit of yellow. Make it warm. Still quite wet too. And then if we just put that in here, inside this gap, like that. And hopefully that it'll make sense. I don't really know what will come out of it, but we'll see. Kind of like this, okay? And then it stops here. And then we're going to put the shadow that's inside this arch, but this is going to be fairly incomplete, okay? Something like this. You can imagine it as part of the background, okay? And then we'll put the shadow to the left too. Also warm, but that's fine. So something like, you see how it just starts to gain, and I'll even put some of the steps just for fun, but you see how it starts to feel like it's actually dented? Now, to further make it, I guess, more apparent or enhance that, and again, you're just looking at a small, really small section, we'll add these architectural details here of these shadows. And you see how it makes it now feel like it's raised from the wall? It's really hard to explain sometimes, but it's just, once you put a few small details like that, that's all you need. And if I'll add like a bit of wet and wet here, where the, I guess, edge is, see, and then I can help it move a bit, like that. It just, and here's a good example. Like, the moment I put this yellow and blue, it just immediately, it takes a shape, and you can immediately see it. Same for the shadow cast by this here. Okay, that's, I'm just trying to verbalize it, but for some reason, again, I'm not verbalizing very well today. But you can see how, and I'll go over some areas. You see, this needs to be stronger, so I'm going to darken it up. Like so. It's all an illusion is kind of what I'm aiming at. And if you just know how to activate the illusion, that's all you need to really get it to work. And you don't even need a full painting to do that. All you need is really an idea. Kind of a section, a small section of a painting with a solid idea, and you'll get it to work. It's kind of like, I don't know if you did my frustration-free watercolor course. There's a lesson where I paint an apple, and the apple just shows up out of nowhere. That's the fun part. If you just paint the shapes of the compose the apple, like the light, the shadow, and so on, it immediately just appears. That's kind of the idea here. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I know it's a bit of a bizarre concept. I'm probably failing at verbalizing it a bit, but it just makes it look immediately like that. Okay, you can feel that it's beveled. That's my point. And as soon as I put these two shapes in here, see, like this, you can immediately tell, oh, okay, they were beveled. Even if the wash is uneven, even if the paint is kind of messy, even if it's overworked, it still works well. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Now let me go back. Let me get rid of this. We'll do a bit of a break from painting and look at some of the messages. I'll actually bring a towel on. It's really hot here. And maybe I'll make the air condition stronger, you know, as soon as I start streaming. My body temp goes up. Give me like 10 seconds. That's actually how you know I exert some effort, so it's good. Take it as a compliment. But yeah, so here's what we have so far. It's just a bunch of sketches, and actually, let me show you. So when I say take a few steps back, I actually mean it. Like if you see it here, I think it looks a little more like what it should be. Of course, it's very partial. It's just a quick one. But like this one also. If you take a few steps back, you may think maybe I painted some, maybe I printed something. It's not certain. Okay, that would make sense. Let me get rid of everything here. I just want to get closer to my Mac and see the messages properly. So let's see what we have here. Okay. So I'll try going over, let's see what the main thing is, because now there's so much chats and I'm so grateful for it. I'll try and do my best to answer as many people as I can. We'll see. And ask away, and if you want me to show you a specific technique, for sure. Any update on your manga? It'll be nice to see you work on it. Oh man, it's going to take some time. So here's the thing, like, because I didn't talk about it at all. I got to a point where I was like, okay, so I thought that this thing I planned to be a short manga, I found out it's gonna, I don't even know how many chapters it's gonna last. And that really took the wind out of my sails for one specific reason. I don't want people to wait for months for just one more episode. I want to write something that truly has a beginning and an end. The reason I haven't been updating you is because I've been just working on a story that's actually a short story, that actually has a beginning, middle, and end. It's really tight. I finished everything. It's ready to go. The one thing I need to do now is turn it into scenes, plan out the dialogues. I have everything that happens from start to finish. Every character, like its personality and background and history and everything. Their relationships between one another. Everything is pretty much like very airtight. The one thing I need to do is turn it into scenes, figure out the length, and start working on that. And that's actually gonna be the next project you can expect. It's going to be manga. Once I get to actually working on it, yes, I may live stream. I don't know. It's something I thought of doing, like a silent stream where I just work and you look at it. If that's interesting, definitely I can do that. Just if you want to tune in and kind of look at a few minutes of me working, then tune out, do something, whatever it is. Pop in fast and just look at what I'm doing. That's definitely a possibility. I also wanted to do this for painting, but we'll see. We'll see about that. But that's the reason I've been pretty silent when it comes to the manga. I don't want to give any more updates until I'm like certain and I know that it's something I can move forward with. And the one thing I need to figure out is how many pages the story is going to be. It is a short story. Unlike the previous one, which I was hoping to be a short story that ended up being a much longer story, this one's actually a short story. It's in the span of like 3 or 4 days, and that's it. That's the entire thing, or maybe 2 weeks. I don't know. Something very short and very limited in terms of what happens, in terms of character development. There's a great YouTuber called Abby Emmons. I learned everything from her. She's incredible. She has a very logical method to building up your story and building up a story structure that's good, that works really well, and that brings that emotional impact. Like one of the big things she always says is it doesn't matter what happens, but why it's important to your character and how your character changes by the end of the story. So I have something that's very well defined. I didn't start drawing. I didn't even start designing most of the characters, just one. But the story itself is done, and it is going to be a short story. So that's my answer to that. It's going to take a long time. It's going to take a long time. Simultaneously, I'm trying to improve my people, my anatomy. To be honest with you, it's a much longer journey than I even thought it's going to be. With lots of uncertainty, which is why I look at it more as a hobby for now. It's not something I think about in terms of like making money from or creating the actual product. I'm not even there yet. I'm still kind of figuring it out, and it's kind of in test mode, if you will. I wish I had better news of like, here's the progress I made. I don't. It just takes ages, I have to say. And it's funny, you know, I watched a few interviews with artists and writers, and a common theme I noticed was that most of them, the story they actually wrote that was huge, they said it was running in their minds for years. Like the author of Berserk that passed away recently, unfortunately, Kentaro Miura. He had I think someone else, the creator of Hajime no Ippo, talked about him, and he said that he saw the sketches for Berserk when he was when Miura was his assistant. And Miura said, it's a story I'm working on for, like, I've thought about it for years, and I'll do it when I'm good enough. So these great stories don't come out of the ether or out of nowhere. They're actually, they need to be conceived, rewritten, re-edited, even if it happens in your mind. Polished, improved. There's so much that goes into them. And if I just had to write a book, I would probably be able to start writing in a week or two, but drawing is a whole nother thing. And I'm just hoping the gap between my skill and my desired end product isn't going to be too big. That's the thing. Because while I was doing all sorts of other things like watercolor and creating content and working on the business and selling my paintings, all of that, the people that just do comics and manga, they just painted or drew the whole time. So I have a lot of catching up to do is my point. So that's the long answer to your question. And at this rate, I don't know how I'll get to even most of the messages, but yeah. Valentino says, can you let your animal hair brushes dry overnight even if you remove the water using paper towel? I mean, you can do it. I don't think it'll be an issue. Calvin says, mixing is 90% of the painting. I think that is how all old masters paint as well. They spend all their time playing on their palette to get the right... Yeah, exactly. That's so true. Lovely colors, Liron. Thank you so much. Aparna Kothari, I'm painting along with you live. Cool. That's the goal. Sophia doing the same. It's nice company. Yeah, if I can motivate you to paint yourself, that's like the best. Calvin, watercolor always looks horrible in the beginning. It took me quite some time to get used to the ugly stages. Anayansi, hello Liron, sending good vibes from Houston. Your commitment to art is amazing. Thank you so much. ABC TV, love this. And by the way, I have to say, thank you so much for the kind words. I really appreciate it. It's funny because whenever I feel like I'm about to reach the next level, my results become much worse for some reason. And actually, I'm very happy with the previous, like the one I showed you earlier. But I do feel like a lot of things that were easy in the past aren't as easy, and I could swear that it happened before. And it happens every like 6 months to a year or two, where I feel like I'm reaching a point where I don't like my process as much. And I get a few results that I don't like at all, but then it kind of leads me to the next breakthrough. So I don't know, maybe it's another one of these times for sure. I feel something similar to that. So yeah, it's really interesting. As they say, it's always darkest before the dawn. It's a true saying, I guess. Eti, wonderful. I love your drawings. Thanks for sharing. Hi from Israel. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Nayansi, just finished your perspective book. I can see the improvement already. Yeah, thank you so much for getting it. It's really just tackling it in as straightforward way as possible. I see a lot of these books that are overly complicated for no good reason. So yeah. I'm very happy you found it helpful. And also I have a live stream I did on perspective a while ago that you may want to check out. I think that was really helpful, where we analyzed a bunch of scenes and I've shown you how the perspective works. It's like 2 or 3 hours long, and I think that was one of the best streams on the topic. Lala Rolala, hey, first time catching you live. I love to learn by watching people work and explain what they are doing instead of tutorials, so your channel is perfect. Thank you so much. Scars, hey, that looks like the mountain line that I'm working on. Oh, cool. Well, what's your basic idea on coloring the shadow side of a building? For instance, if you use yellow ochre for the front side, how do you choose the color of the shadow? That's actually a great question, and it got me to think of something I usually don't. So what I like to do is, for the shadowy side, I'll also have yellow ochre. So if I have one color here, I'll put it on the shadow as well. You should see it like this. So if I have the lit area, which is this, and the shadowy area, I'm going to put on the shadowy area the same color on the well-lit area plus another color for the shadow or to darken it. That's how I think about it. I just find that it makes it feel more organic because the wall is the same color on both the light and shadow side. So I like to have the same color, the same actual color also on the shadow side. It's a great question. So if I use a new gamboge for the wall or even a neutral mix for the wall, I'll use that same neutral mix for the shadowy side plus either darker or plus a different color that's also darker. That's a great question. Yeah, I try and think about the logic behind it. And sometimes I'll cover everything with the same wash and then add a shadow on top of it. So I essentially included the same color for both sides. I hope that makes sense. Of course I am. I'm late. Hope you had a good trip. Yes, thank you so much. It was great. It was great taking vacation for a while. Dave says, I think sometimes realism happens naturally. At least it does for me. Yeah, you just have to kind of let it happen. Brazilian Dutchie, do you take care to work ergonomically? What sort of habits have you developed to ensure you don't injure your wrist or back drawing too much? Yeah, that's a great question. I think the most important thing for me is to actually work out regularly and get up from the table regularly every, I don't know, at least every 30 minutes just to get up and stretch for a few moments. I do physiotherapy every day. I don't think it necessarily relates directly to that, but that helps too because I have an ongoing knee injury. Not a knee injury, I just had a bit of an inflammation there and it kind of comes and goes. Ergonomically, I just recently put my Mac from this position to this position on my work desk behind me, just to make it higher so that it's easier to look at and I don't have to look down, but rather straight forward. My chair's pretty comfy. I think, to me, so you should hear me now, but it's coming from the streaming camera. Let me know you can hear me. I know I'm probably went muted for a few moments. Sorry about that. Let me see here. Yeah, sound's gone. Let me know the sound came back. It's gonna be probably worse quality sound, but at least it is sound. Um, yeah, I know. So here's the thing. Just let me know you can hear me again. I'll continue. Um, I didn't pull a cable. I pulled my headphones out. That's really annoying. So I pulled the cable of the headphones out. Um, yeah, I'm back. I know. Yeah, that's weird. So the sound is coming from the Mac, not from the headphones. But for some reason, me pulling out the headphones turned off the sound. So let me know if it's too bad now, the sound quality. If it is, I'll try and improve it. I don't know what happened. It's so weird. Let's see here. Just touch the headphones cable and the sound is gone. Yeah, so it's headphones. Okay, yeah, I don't know, whatever. Well, we'll continue and it's gonna be okay. Yeah. Let me go back to the message I answered to. Quite a lot of things here. Take ergonomics. Yeah, we were talking about ergonomics. So yeah, that's what I do. The main thing for me is to make sure that my lifestyle overall isn't too sedentary. That's the main thing. Making sure to work out regularly, eat somewhat healthy. I find that's really important. Is there like a better ergonomic structure? I'm sure there is, but I think I got the classic things covered up, covered, like the height of my desk is, I think, the ideal and all of that. But yeah, it is really important, and I'm sure that the older I get, the more of a concern it's going to be, and the more I'll suffer for it if I don't do it properly. But yeah, great question. I was never asked that. Arthur Koopmans, hi Liron, good to see you back from vacation. Lately, I've learned to stop making too detailed and rigid preparatory sketches. Sketching loosely drastically saves time and makes painting more fun. Yeah, so for me, I feel like if I just paint loosely, the painting feels more organic. And that's the thing I love. I love when it feels a little more, less mechanic, I would say. So imagine like if you're drawing by hand as opposed to dropping lines in Photoshop by doing a dot and another dot and it connects it and another dot. It just feels more organic. I know what you mean. I find that if I structure things too carefully, it will, like what you saw there with the sketch is the minimum I'll usually do. That still feels really good. So yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it. Lala Rolala, do you fill your own? Oh, do you mean like these pens when you say godets? I actually fill them up myself. I've done it in the beginning of the live. I'm gonna change angle and there may not be audio. 1 second. And now there should be audio. Sorry about that. So yeah, I fill them up myself. I just showed it in the beginning. I have this tube here and I just fill up the pen. Yeah. When I initially got this palette, yes, it was full of paints, and these are the original paints, you can probably tell. But then I kept refilling the ones that ran out that I liked the most, so yeah. Canada. Please, Canada. Not sure what that means. You fill a big section with marker, attaching the marker to an aerograph. Aerograph? Is that like an airbrush? Parrot. Oh, okay. Chandrapa, you want a parrot drawing? Yeah, I can do that. I'll do one in the future. I'll draw a parrot. Drawing or painting? Let me know. Kasapaiva, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing it. Sorry about that. Hello from Finland. Hello, and thank you for being here. B or Bay. Arevalo, hi. Arevalo? Yeah, Arevalo. I can't read today, sorry. Omiletti, my comment was too long. Have you ever used Arteza watercolors? I haven't. I heard good things, I heard bad things, I heard mixed reviews, so I can't comment, unfortunately. I believe I have some laying around here somewhere. I also believe I had their markers, the ones that kind of, the brush pens that kind of are filled with the paint and you paint with that. I just didn't like them as much, and not for it's not that they were bad as they were, but I just didn't feel a connection to this format of painting with something that's filled. I don't know, I never liked these kinds of brush pens. I have some here too. It's not really their fault, I just didn't really like it, I guess. I live I live next to a Escoda factory. So happy to see the brushes being enjoyed around the world. Yeah, definitely, they're great. Zan Alfred Dizon, I love Escoda, never replaced my brand of brush. Cool, people really stick to one brand. That's really nice. John Leitakar, I am at work, but I just bought your course. Liron is kind of my watercolor hero. Thank you so much, John. Thank you, much appreciated. Kelvin, wow, the painting looks finished already. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. So I'm reading the comments with a huge delay. Sorry about that, but thank you so much. What colors did you mix for the shadows? French ultramarine, Parylene red, and yellow ochre. Hello, Liron, late to the live. Got to watch the replay. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Anyway, I appreciate it. Nechi, and that shadow on the door looks like a bit of rust. What colors did you use for that? On the door, do you mean this one or the first one? Let me know, but oh yeah, maybe you meant the other one. So for the rust, I kind of just, okay, so here's what I do. I use the same three colors, but I just change the consistency. So I'll use a bit more of red where I want it to look a little rusty, or I'll use a bit more yellow where I want it to feel more glowy. That's usually how I do it. I hope that makes sense. But it's the same colors for the most part. But yeah. John, Liron, I'm curious as to seeing you use all four of your mixing wells at the same time when mixing color. Yeah. So here's how I do it. That's a good question too. So what I do is, when I approach mixing a color, let's say I finished a session, I let it dry or whatever. For the next time, I'm looking at what I have here and I'm planning based on that. So let's say the next wash I want to do is warm or yellowy. I'm not going to use this well that has a lot of blue in it. I'm going to use this one that's a little lighter. So I'll do this. I'll bring in my yellow here, and that's where I'll start working. Okay? Now, if I want to mix something that's more blue or more dark, I'll start with the dark pens. And here's what I love doing. The brush is a little moist, and then I just pre-wet everything that's in the mixing area just to bring out some darkness. You see? Like that. And I can use whichever one I want because I'm just going for a dark color. So I'll bring back more of the blue, more of the perlin red, more of the yellow ochre. And I'll just, that's way too much, and I'll just mix them here. Okay, so what I'm doing is, as the painting develops, I'm using the situation in the mixing area to my benefit. So if I need warm, I'll go for an area that's warm. If I need cool, I'll go to an area that's already cool. And if I don't have one, then I'll have to clean. So if everything was strong, super strong blue, I'll just clean it. I'll go like this and pick it back up. Okay, so that's pretty much the only instance where I'll actually clean the well. But usually if whatever is in it isn't too against what I'm gonna paint, then I'm fine with that. I'll just use that. Okay? It's a great question, and it's something that I'm doing intuitively, so I wouldn't even think about talking about. But yeah, it is important to make good use of your mixing area. And if it's a large mixing area, some palettes are just have a large mixing area, I'll do the sections the same way. I won't have a separation, but one section will be warmer, one will be cooler. The value also, I'll use the most suitable pen for the value desired. So yeah. Let's see what else. Tom B, I think some of my issue is with watercolor is I never allow time for drying. I know I need to go lightly and do layers. And then I keep adding before it dries. Yeah, that's just a matter of patience. Once it goes past a certain point of wetness, all you can do is just wait. Now, if you don't want to wait, you can use a hairdryer, like me, if you don't have time or if you're in a hurry or you just don't want to wait. So maybe a hairdryer will solve your issue. Just force yourself to dry it from afar, don't burn the paper, and then continue. Just a quick trick, maybe it'll help you. Charmy Patnaik says, damn, and then datte bayo. That's Japanese slang, courtesy of Naruto. Arthur Coupons, I have had a similar experience with pulp paper. It may also produce more blooms, I think. Yeah, sometimes it will. Marjorie, interesting to hear your take on the difference with pulp paper. This is important to me as I bought stacks, as it was all except ours at my local store. Yeah, don't be afraid to use them. It can still work out. Now here's kind of a weird trick to try. If you're using pulp paper, you see more of the brush texture, right? That's what some people, including myself, complain about. Work larger, because when you work larger, the paper's texture isn't as important. Okay, I hope that makes sense. The larger you work, no one cares about the texture. You won't see the texture. It all will flatten to a smoother wash. Okay, the smaller you work, the more it's going to be apparent in a way. Now, if you work really tiny, it won't be apparent for a different reason. But just saying, a lot of the inaccuracies or unevenness goes away when you just paint large enough. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. I've heard Buckingford is a good pulp paper. I haven't tried it out. I hope I'll try it soon. Helga else is brilliant. Omiletti,
You all are much more advanced than I am. I'm just happy with consumer Excel paper and Arteza paper. I'm hoping to someday try Arch or something like that. Yeah, don't assume that everyone's more advanced than you, Omeletti. You may be at a good spot. I mean, that's why comparison is never a good thing. Whether it's your skill or materials, you use whatever you got. You focus on the fundamentals, get the values, get the colors and everything else kind of looking good, and you can produce great results on pulp paper too. Really. Scars, the store where I used to buy paper now sells nothing but their store brand. Oh yeah, that sucks. That's annoying. We get that with the I guess grocery stores here. They'll get rid of the good products and put in their own generic kind of white label thing, and it's never as good. Yeah, that sucks. I hope you can get it in a different place maybe. Let's see here. To buy online. 100% Arteza paper is pretty good, says Lala. Quite close to Arch. Yeah, I never tried their paper. The paper could be decent. Saunders Waterford is also supposed to be good cotton papers. Bookvich seem to prefer it to Arch even. Arthur, I'm the same boat. I prefer Saunders Waterford. They just don't make it here anymore. Dave, okay. Start several paintings and bounce from one to the next. That's actually a good idea, Tom B. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Marjorie Johnson, with my health, I resist sending to Jackson sometimes because it takes up to 5 weeks to get here, and I'm not sure I will still be here. Oh no, Marjorie, come on. I wish you much more than that. Is the shipping time like crazy with Jackson's? I know people here order from Jackson's too, but I never did it. Comes in which Escoda brushes do you use? A bunch of them. I got the Barocco and the Perla, and these are the three I kind of settled around. 2 Perla and 1 Barocco. The Barocco is size 16, and then the Perla is a 1/4 inch of a sword brush. It has this angled thing going. It's really nice. And then we have the size 8 Perla just for small details. But I think it's about experimenting. You should try out a bunch of sizes, a bunch of types, find what works for you. This changed for me over time a lot. I'm sure it'll change in the future as well as I settle on other things that I like more. Neche, I get the illusion, Liron. It really works. I sometimes do that too. Yeah. Painting is nothing but an optical illusion. Kelvin, definitely. Let's see here. Can we use wet on wet? Can we use wet on wet for blending? Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's a part of blending. Sushma. Something I like doing, and I showed it in other videos, is I'll either pre-wet the paper and then paint next to it and it will blend, or I'll first put the paint and then blend it with pure water. Depending on what you need, one will work better than the other. How do we use wet on wet for blending? Okay, I can do a quick one. I'll show you. And then I see, please say my name. Aman Desai, here we go. I hope you're happy with me saying your name. Let me get rid of this paper. So with this block, you have to cut out from the corner to get to the next paper. And you have to be careful because sometimes you can cut through the paper too. And you don't want to do something like really that you worked on for a long time and then find out that you ripped through it. It's a nightmare. But in any case, yeah, for blending, just real quick. So do you want to use what for blending? So a couple of things. Let me show you one and then the other. So the first way would be to put some clean water and then put some paint next to it so it will blend. It'll have a soft edge, see? And the other way is to first put the paint and then afterwards create the soft edge like this. To be honest with you, this way is much simpler and it'll provide a little bit of an easier control, but both are valid. Now one thing you can do is just blend 2 colors, which I like doing a lot. So you just put the color and then you put the other color just next to it and let them blend together. Okay, so that's another way of doing it. And slowly you will learn with time what colors work well next to one another, what colors look good, what colors to avoid. Yellow ochre is a bit tricky. Yes, it can blend a bit with the blue and create a green. So yeah, you have to try a lot of different things. But those would be, I guess, the main ways of blending. This one is really the easiest. You can just, and I have a video on it, full video, because you can just put in clean water and then have the wash be blended from the get. And you can play around with the angle to get different effects. You see how the color kind of flows if you increase the angle, or you can rotate it the other way to avoid it from going too much into the wet area. So yeah. I'm improving, Tomby, much slower than I like, but you see so much talent online. Yeah, that's for sure. But so here's the thing. I'll post a painting that looks really, really good. But then when I paint in private, I'll produce something that doesn't look good at all. So really what you want to do is don't let all of that get to you. The main thing is that you compete with yourself. And it really is true, and it really does work. You'll never be able to compete with anyone else, and that's good because it means you're unique. I'd much rather see improvement in my own work. Now, if you feel like you're going backwards, which sometimes happens, it's just a part of the journey, really. I think it's funny. It's kind of like investing in the stock market. That, I don't know, if you invest, you know that it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. But the more you, sorry, bumped the camera. The more you zoom out, you see the trend, and the trend is up. Usually, it can go down, but the Ruth runs in her sleep. The more you zoom out and you do it over a long period of time, the more perspective you have, and you really see it for what it is, and you will see your improvement a little better. So yeah, what's the difference between anime and manga? So anime, okay, manga is the Japanese comic. I actually have one to show you right here. I'm currently reading Claymore. So this is manga. Manga is comic format. It's Japanese. Let me show you. That's manga. Okay. It's a really good one too. And by the way, I have Eric from Cafe Watercolor's bookmark. So Eric, I'm using yours. It's really useful actually. I have a few of these. Thank you so much for sending them. So that's manga. You see the style, Japanese. That. Now anime is what you see on TV, and that's the animation. So that'll be like Dragon Ball. Now Dragon Ball has a manga and an anime. I prefer manga, generally speaking. I find that it's closer to, like, manga was actually created by one person or a group of people, but one is the person who invented it, and then it's just assistants. So it feels very close to the artist. Everything you see was drawn by the artist, whereas anime is done by a studio with a lot of animators, and it's farther from the source. And very often the manga will be better. And even if you like the animation and you like the music, that's a big plus, and the color, because manga is usually black and white. I still prefer the manga very often. So yeah. Aman Desai, again, your name, I said it. I hope you're happy with it. Kelvin, writing is about rewrite. Yeah, that is so true. You have no name now. That's funny, Harry. Manomina, like from India. Thank you so much. Lori Huber, I just inherited a bunch of oil paints from my late sister, but they are, I'm sorry for your loss, but they are about 15 years older. Would they still be good to use? So oils, I don't know. With watercolor, it really depends, and I think I would have had an answer for you, but with oils, I'm not sure. I think they should be good. Now, one thing that happens in tubes, at least in watercolor that I know of, is that the binder and everything separates. So you'll open up the tube and a bunch of liquid will pour out, and it's going to be transparent, and the paint is going to be separate. So what you do is you take a toothpick and you mix it inside the tube. For oil, it's usually larger tubes too, so I don't know if you'll be able to do that, but it's worth trying. So just try, put something in it, mixing it, and seeing if it reactivates, and if it's even, I mean, moist. Oil takes so long to dry that it could very well be in perfect condition. So give it a try. I've never painted in oils, wondering if I should either get started or donate them. Give them a try. Maybe you'll enjoy it and then keep them, and if you don't, donate the rest of the tubes or even the one you open, I guess. Arthur Coop, an interesting tip for mixing the shadow colors. It does make sense to use a local color as a base. Exactly. Yeah, that's a better way of saying it. I'm using the local color as a base, and I add a shadow on top of that. Oh, Elati, question. What tools do you take when you travel, meaning errands or for something on site? So I have to run through the painting process in my mind every single time. It's best if you have like a bag ready to go, but sometimes that's not an option. But you need an easel, you need a paper or a sketchbook. If you're using a paper, you need a hard cover to put behind the hard cover, like a hard surface to put the paper on and tape it to it, like this, the thing I'm using. Whenever I paint, I use this kind of a thing here, like a board, or you can tape it to a sketchbook. If you have a sketchbook that's not for watercolor, but a paper that is for watercolor, you need water. You need something to hold the water in. That's what I put. I'm just saying what I do. 2 brushes for me, usually, maybe 3 maximum. A palette that has this ring thing here that you can actually hold easily outside, like this. And sprayer, really important. One of these. And what else? I think that's it. Yeah, I think this is pretty much everything you need. Wear a hat or a cap just to make sure you don't, I don't know if it's super sunny or anything like that. Gloves for your hands, that's usually a tough one. Clips, I like to use clips outside if it's windy to grab everything together. That's really important actually. And pencil for the sketch. That's pretty much everything you need. It happened to me multiple times that I forgot a pencil, so I just did a la prima, no pencil at all, and that was fun too. So yeah. Yeah, mute. Let's go over the mute messages real fast. Yeah, okay. So let's see what other questions we have here. I'll pick a few and then we'll maybe do a quick one, or maybe we'll wrap it up. We've been going for almost 2 hours. Went by fast, I have to say, this live stream. Maybe I'll go over the pictures and see if there's anything else I want to try. Scars, what is the best drawing tablet under $50? Can't say, but if anyone in the chat knows, please let Dexter know. Honestly, I don't know much about tablets. I got mine for around $300. And it's one that's impossible to get here, but someone ordered it from abroad and I bought from them. They barely used it. It was a great situation, but that's not going to be an option. Under 50, you won't get a screen. You'll get just the tablet itself. I don't know. If anyone knows, please let Dexter know. Scars, Liron, what I meant was your painting was the stage where you just know it's waiting for that touch that brings it alive. Got sound now. Yeah, thank you. Sound back on. Sound okay. What is the best drawing tablet? Yeah, sorry, I don't have an answer for that. Thank you for the answer on Arteza. I do have brush pens as well, but I don't use them for painting. I use them for lettering. Oh yeah, for lettering that'll work great. Siad H, hey, which company of colors are you using? So I said Paul Rubens, Daniel Smith. Those are the 2 main ones. With the way you mix, I'm surprised not to see mud. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people say it. I'm not sure how I avoid it, but somehow I do, I guess. How often a day do you paint? So sometimes I'll paint every single day. Not now because I'm doing a lot of other things, drawing a lot. But on average, what will it be? I think in bad times it'll be like an average of about an hour a day or even less if you average it out. So every few days I'll paint for a while, for 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever, twice a week or 3 times a week. It's really hard to calculate, but not enough for sure. I think you need at least an hour a day or 2 hours a day to really move forward, which is the next stage. I'll go into that phase, I think, soon. But yeah, when I used to really be on top of it, I'll do 3 hours a day every day, including Fridays and Saturdays. Nechi, have you tried using inks on paintings and having it smudged a little to add effect? No, I don't like that effect as much. I do know a lot of people do. So if you do like it, do it. I have it. WL, is that Alessandro? I'm not sure. I know you're a whale, but WL, is that another user? Have a Sunday green USB with a beautiful paper. USB. I'm not sure what you mean there, but would like to buy as flat sheets or pad. Can't seem to find it. I have no answer to that, but hopefully someone else will. So yeah, let's do another quick one. You're going to have to go an extra hour today. Ray, how are you doing? Joined a little late, yeah. I'll try and add something for you. Let's look at some other scenes. I'll choose something else. We'll see. I'll choose something else, and let's see here. Images. So let's see what other... Do I even have this window open? No, I think I closed it. Yeah, I closed it. So I don't know what it's even showing, but let's open it up again. Let's do this. Open it up again. Okay. So just give me a second to get that again in here. Yes. So what I need is a window capture, and the window is going to be a new one, and I'm going to use just a second. I always have a hard time finding refs. Is it this one? No, it's not. It's definitely not this one. Let's see here. Wow, it's gonna take me a moment. Discard, yeah. Discard. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, it gives me a preview. That's nice. Let's see here. Why can't I find it? Come on. The preview window, it just won't work. Maybe I'll just choose one and share it with you. So 1 second. I think it could be fun to do I think it could be fun, maybe. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this. I don't need it. So here's what we're gonna do. Maybe we'll do the view from the balcony, because I like that one. Image. I'll bring it over. It's a very nice image, and I think I like one in particular. Let's see which one it is. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll do something else. If you really want to do a car, or maybe a tractor. Let's see here. Sorry, it's gonna take a few moments. Usually I'll prepare like a specific subject before because I want something that truly inspires me. But this time I just kind of went for it, so I don't want any of these. Let's see. So let me crop out the tractor and we'll try that. We'll do that real fast, and because I want to show you something specific. It's not really, I don't know if I should call it a technique, but it's something that is really important in a way I like to do it. So I took a picture of this tractor basically while we were driving, and it's blurry, but I'm not gonna let that stop me. But I just want to show you something fun. So, because I like the shape a lot. Like it's like such an old kind of tractor type that I don't know. I had to save it and maybe paint it. I want to show you something that I like doing a lot, and I have a lot of videos on it. And it's the whole again alla prima idea. Okay, it's just easier to do with smaller objects as opposed to scenes. But what I like to do, and we won't paint it the whole thing. I just want to show you something small. So for the main body of it, you see that there's this kind of a cube shape like that. I don't know if you can see it. Well, I'll go over the lines, make them stronger, don't worry. But the main shape is something like that, right? And then you add the tires and everything, but it's not as important. So you have the tire here. But what I want to show you, it actually has to do with how I paint this. So the way I like to do it, and I think this will be a good kind of a quick demo, and then we'll wrap it up. So the way I like to approach these, and look at how fun it is to do a loose drawing, just to kind of, even if it's inaccurate, and it should be here, a little taller, even if it's inaccurate, at least it's a little fun and organic feeling, which is a big part of enjoying the painting stage. Something like that. what I actually want to show you is how I paint the red. So there's a highlight here and a highlight here. And if you look at the front, there's a bit of like the headlights or whatever you'd call them. Very blurry. The picture, I know it's blurry, but we'll work with it. And then there's this nice little, I don't know, thing on the side. And this should be much thinner, of course. Let's get rid of this part. So the way I would paint this is in one go. And this is really important because it's like the technique I showed you here of painting one color next to the other. Okay? So let me show you real quick what I mean. And let me zoom in a bit. Using the manual zoom in, I'm simply lowering the tripod. There we go. It's a special feature that involves simply moving it. Here we go. So I want to show you. The way I like to do this is to just paint this square in one form. And we talked earlier about, okay, so we talked earlier about what do you merge, what do you connect? And you don't have to connect everything. You can focus on one area at a time, and that's what I want to show you here. So if I'll focus just on this box here, look at what I can do with it. So I can start painting the top, and the top, let's say, is fairly light, right? So, and I'll paint around the highlight. So I'm starting like this. And even if the value is inaccurate, don't worry, because you can darken it with wet and wet, okay? So there's a highlight here, right? Now it looks a little darker maybe towards the left side, so I'm going to add a bit of blue and a bit of yellow to it. And you see how I'm kind of making it darker here. Okay, now to the side it's really darker, so I'm going to use a bit of Parylene red because it's naturally a bit of a darker red. And that's how I'll fill in that left section. And I'll push it more. I'll push it to be darker, like this, okay? And then for the front part, and you see this nice transition here, that's what I like to get. So for the front part, yes, there is a bit of a shadow here in between, or it's kind of a gray, and a bit of yellow, a bit of a gray here. And then it goes back to red, kind of like this, maybe even a little lighter. And I'm using the Parylene and Pyrrole Scarlet and Parylene Red, both. So maybe something like this. And touching here as well, see? So the way I'll paint these shapes is almost always merged together. And that's what I want you to try and develop. The ability to do that. Let me gray this out a bit. I want you to focus on one shape and paint just that. Make sure there is flow in that one shape you're painting, but don't worry about it connecting to everything else, okay? Because it's a tough balance. I know. I'm going to put in this kind of detail to the side here, wet and wet, you see? And then there's a darker section underneath it, like this. And I can continue it. I mean, you see, it's okay that I didn't paint these two parts together and now it starts to dry and I'm still connecting them. You don't have to stress about everything connecting with everything. I know we emphasize connection a lot, we watercolor artists, but you can actually focus on one section at a time while making these connections, okay? So I don't want you to stress over it too much. And then you can take it in whichever direction you want. So like, do this tire here. I didn't even draw them, so it's going to be a bit of a wacky thing, but let's say we have the tire here, that's the darker part of it, and then we have the lighter part like that, and the tire itself is also blended together, the light and dark parts, because it's a small space I can control it, so I blended them together, you see. And then I'm gonna work my way towards the other tire, go a little lighter there. Maybe go more organic with some of my primary colors. Messed this one up a lot. The mixing took way too much blue. Sometimes I'll use black again as a shortcut, but I love mixing my own black colors. So this is the lighter section, and then the darker section. Again, like that. You see? And it will work out eventually. Same for this. This tire isn't pretty much darker. So don't worry about connecting absolutely everything, and if you didn't and you messed something up, worry about the small area that is within your control and make sure you connect stuff there. Okay, here I'll avoid a connection because then the black will seep right into my red, so I need to be careful. See? Like here. And darken it where it should be darker, like this bottom third or whatever. See? And then we have a bunch of other stuff. I want to try and paint a bit abstractly. Let's just go roll with it. Sometimes I really enjoy that kind of a thing. So here we have the front. We have this very light section I'm gonna leave probably untouched. Let's switch to a bigger brush. And the moment I'll add the shadow in, and the shadow is one big shape again. So we merge all of the background into one big shape. Okay? Kind of like this. I don't care about the details within that shape, okay? They don't matter as much. Kind of like this. Leaving a gap here for the bright red that we'll fill in later. This is just trees. I can put a bit stronger yellow in them or whatever. Underneath it, it's pretty strong too. I'm kind of just going with it, you see? And then we have that tank at the back. So that's going to be negatively painted inside, you see? Not drawing can really make it a little harder, but hopefully the point goes across. A little gray for the front of the tank, you see? Like that, and a little shadow to the bottom. And something like this, but not everything has to connect together, okay? Just one section. So you may be worried, because I do get these messages of people worrying they missed the connection here, let's say the tires and the shadow. That's fine. You just put the shadow, and no disaster is going to happen. You're just going to put the shadow in and kind of touch the tires tangentially, or not too harshly, and it will work out well. Okay, you see? It works. You don't have to connect everything together. That's the point. But I do love the idea of choosing one thing to connect together. I hope that makes sense. Just one thing to have connected, and so that you can, I guess, have some kind of a flow in the painting, because the flow does help, and it does look good in watercolor. So here's that roof, very shiny. Let's dumb down these highlights, not necessary at all. Let's darken some of the background there. Oh, something like that. And I completely forgot the front part here. This kind of a thing. And there are some interesting highlights too. Maybe I'll add them with the brush pen. Wasn't planning on doing another one, but just a quick one maybe to add a bit more interest to the live stream. And then if you want to add a highlight, you can do this. You see there's this nice lip here, like that. That's a really nice highlight. Like there. There aren't too many like squiggly highlights there. You can add like a steering wheel or whatever. But yeah, just the gist of it. And I think that looks really nice. So the cleverness is in knowing what to connect together, what to tie in together. If you check out work by Michael Soloviev, I want to show you a painting now, because this is a perfect example of it. Let's see here, Michael Soloviev. I think I should have... It's going to be a little tricky to find, so maybe I'll save it for another time. But go check out my Painting Masters episode with Michael Soloviev. He has a way of merging some parts of the painting and keeping other parts separate, and it's done in such an interesting way that it's just hard to describe it. Be sure to check that out. So I hope that makes sense. Now let me look at a couple more messages just to wrap it up, and then we'll close shop for today. Colin says, I never clean my palette, but I keep my primary well true to their hue. Only truly dirty walls are my dark and green. Yeah, that's a great approach. I'm doing something a little different, but yeah, that'll work. Oh my god, I love Eric's works too. Yeah, he's great. I actually have a painting of mine he did here. Most of you probably have seen. So nice to see you two know each other. Yeah, we talked a bit in the past. He's a great guy. Very skilled too. Chat jumped on me as always. Let's see here. Yeah. Aparna says, I'm waiting for you to show the painting so that I can continue painting. Yeah. Tom B, off to homeschool. Just a few more days to Hugh. Bye all. Thank you. All stay well. Thank you so much, Tom. Calvin, oil paint never goes bad. Yeah, I had a feeling. I've seen people brought 70-year-old oil paint tubes from eBay and it'll still work like brand new. That's really cool. Marjorie, my oils are 30 or more years and most are just fine. Because of teaching, I had a lot. Oh, yeah. So it should work. In a sense, watercolor also doesn't go bad. Even if it's solid in the tube, you can still tear the tube up. And yeah, that's true. I haven't thought of that, but yeah, you can definitely just do that. That's very true. Mark, Ohio. I ordered 2 Ultimo Escoda brushes from Jackson's a month ago and they have not arrived yet. I'm in Ohio, USA. After they arrived in the US, there's no way to track it. Oh, so wait, Jackson isn't in the US? I had no idea. I thought, what, is it UK based? I thought Jackson was in the US. Didn't know. News, thank you for this thumbs up. Rouse sprayed. As long as the oil paint isn't dry. Okay, good. Oil. Is the French Ultramarine Pyrrole, it's not Pyrrole, it's Pyrrole Scarlet, red and yellow ochre from Daniel Smith or Paul Rubin. So French Ultramarine is Daniel Smith. Pyrrole Scarlet is Daniel Smith. Yellow ochre is actually, it's M. Graham, which I forgot to mention, but I also had a yellow ochre here in the Paul Rubin palette that's great. So if you're looking for that, that'll also work really well. Scars, can you have just 3 colors? Oh, you can have just 3 colors. What would they be? Oh, that's tough. I'll have to go with the classic French Ultramarine. Yellow. Oh, should I give up New Gamboge or Indian? No, I'll go with Indian yellow because I can mix the yellow ochre. And for the blue, I still wonder if I should go with Phthalo or with French Ultramarine. It's a tough one. And for the red is tricky. I still haven't found a red that is just perfect. I love Perylene Red. Quinacridone Rose is close. I really like the Alizarin Crimson, not Alizarin Crimson. What's the name? I think maybe it was Alizarin Crimson. Wait a second, I'll find it too. I barely used it because it's not. Yeah, it was Alizarin Crimson. It's just not Lightfest, but I love it. So this Alizarin Crimson is one of my favorites. It's just not Lightfest, that's the problem. So I don't use it for almost anything, just for practice. And it's a really beautiful red. What watercolor paper do you recommend for practice? Is affordable? Yeah, that's a question I always get. I would go for an expensive paper. But if you go for a cheaper one, Consum Montval is good. Fabriano Artistico is okay. This is Fabriano Artistico. Here it's super expensive too, unfortunately. But if you can get it cheaper, then that's good too. Cheap 100% watercolor paper. Yeah, that's definitely will be the best. Let's see. Misselbu. Yeah, Misselbu is great. Mano, you know Misselbu? Yeah, I know Misselbu. Maybe I should cover their art as well one day. We'll do that. I thought about doing a video where we watch. I think it's a guy. I don't know though. I'll say they. Their process. Doing a video where I kind of look at their process and talk about it. That could be really fun. We'll see. Thank you, Calvin. You have good info today. You always do, but today is extra. Always go with 100% cotton. Yeah, it's just so much better. Mixing black is easier. Just yeah. Marjorie, listening and watching you a live stream makes my hospital recovery go so much better. Yeah, I hope you're feeling better. I think you mentioned it before. Thank you, Liron. Here's to next week. Yeah, for sure. Just all the best and health in the world. Everyone's wishing it. And thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated. Tekla, I missed everything. You can watch it. I'll keep the live stream up. Just ordered watercolor. Oh, cool. So what paints did you order? John, great job on the tractor, I guess. And another awesome live session. Thank you. Nechi, you gave me an inspiration to paint today, Liron. I sent you an example of the glow on Instagram. Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll definitely check it out. Oh, thank you so much, Olga. I think that's a super sticker. So here's the thing. I got an email from YouTube that I can enable super chats and super stickers. So I was like, okay, I'll enable them, even though I don't monetize my videos at all, like in terms of ads. But thank you so much, Olga. You're the first person to give me a sticker. So much appreciated. Much appreciated. I thought I turned it off, monetization for the live stream. But I guess you can always give a sticker. So thank you for that. For 899 ruble. Much appreciated. I think that's a ruble, right? But thank you so much. Oh yeah, Jackson is in London. Thank you for letting me know. Had no idea. So yeah, what? Let's see here. I have a synthetic alizarin permanent on my palette because it's Lightfest. Yeah, so it is Lightfest. Oh, I should check it out. I had synthetic alizarin. I had not synthetic. I had alizarin crimson. Was it genuine? I don't remember, but I do remember I had a good version of it that was Lightfest. I think I just ran out and I never bought a new one, but I should. Umar Tank says thank you for this tutorial. So thank you so much. I think now we'll wrap it up. I do want to thank you so much for tuning in. Great audience. Thank you so much for being here, each and every one of you. It's been a while since the last live stream, so I'm really glad you're all here. And I think, so for the next one, I'll have to think about what topic I want to do, because this one I really wanted it to be kind of chill, informal. We'll think about it. I'll come up with a good topic. Maybe it'll be a specific painting, or maybe a specific discussion, or maybe just questions and answers. We'll see. Let me know. You can also leave a comment if you're watching this after the fact. Once it's going to go not live, but stay on my YouTube channel. Let me know in a comment, because it's going to be easier for me to see what topic you want us to do for the next live stream. I know the parrot. I may do that. But let me know in a comment what you want the next live stream to be about, whether it's a specific painting or a topic, whatever it is. Let me know. I'll be happy to do it. I did one last kind of message before we wrap it up. I fixed a problem I had in my website where you buy the frustration-free watercolor course. So if you're purchasing it using PayPal, it should not work well, and it should send you an email properly, and you should be added to the correct communication correspondence list, and everything should work well. But if you are having issues, please let me know. There's always a link somewhere in the channel if you want to get the frustration-free watercolor course. I fixed it. So now, whether you purchase with a credit card or with PayPal, it should work properly. If you're having issues, if you don't get an email or whatever, check your spam folder, but it's usually not there. It usually gets to the inbox. So just let me know, and I'll fix it. And there's a lot of messages and comments and emails I need to get back to because of vacation, so slowly going back to business. So thank you for your patience with that. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you being here, and I will wrap it up. Take care. We'll talk to you again real soon.